Today we're taking a look at 5 of the best third-party budget lenses for Sony cameras, plus a couple of honorable mentions. The 24mm f1.4 GM is one of the most popular lenses that Sony makes. I owned it, I loved it, but at $429, the Viltrox 24mm f1.8 is a great alternative, and it comes in at just about $1,000 cheaper than the GM. It's small, it's light, it's well built. We have a dedicated aperture ring, which is a little squeaky, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe some WD-40 in there. It sounds like 2 really clean pieces of rubber rubbing against one another. I feel like I could call a canary with this. Got you, you little son of a bitch. This lens does a great job. It performs well. The image looks great. I actually sold my 24 f1.4 Sony GM months back before I even got my hands on this because I'm like, I have so many 24mm lenses. I literally have like 4 lenses that all hit 24mm, if not 5 maybe, actually. And like the second I sold it, I just missed that prime 24mm with the fast aperture. And then Viltrox sent this over and I was good again. Let's actually throw it on the FX3 right now and see what it looked like. Autofocus works well. I mean, come on. Oh. And 24mm is just about the tightest focal length that I would ever want for vlogging. I think 24mm is fine for vlogging.
We don't really know where the world is gonna go, but now everybody knows that you can't stop for too long, got to keep going.
So the image looks great coming out of this lens. This has been my studio lens since Viltrox sent it over to me. Thank you very much, Viltrox. I personally think the 24mm f1.8 is a great kind of do-it-all lens. You could pretty much just own this one lens if you're just a content creator and your camera is always within arm's reach of you. You can vlog with this. It looks great in the studio. It's pretty fast at f1.8. Autofocus performs well. Autofocus is quiet. After I got rid of my 24 f1.4, this was a great replacement. The Tamron 17 to 28 f2.8 is a great alternative to the Sony 16 to 35 f2.8. Most people know about this lens, but I never really hear anybody talk about it, and I think a lot of people are missing out. Now, when I first came across this lens, I'm like, 17, I already have a 20mm. 17 isn't much wider than 20. 28 really isn't much of a zoom. And then I went for it. Image looks great. You have a constant aperture again of f2.8 all the way through. 16 is not really that noticeably wider than 17 is. And tell you the truth, the difference between 35 and 28 is not that much. It's a few steps forward. This also has an internal zoom, meaning the lens doesn't get bigger or smaller while you're zooming in and out, which makes it fantastic to fly on a gimbal. Can't do that with the 16 to 35. You need a much bigger and stronger gimbal, and you'll probably still have to make some balancing adjustments. So this is perfect. I mean, 17, perfectly wide to vlog with. f2.8, fairly fast. You still get a nice separation in the background, and you could actually, oh wait, sorry, I was at 20 right there. I was at 20. This was where we were, and this is where we can be. And honestly, you can even vlog at 28. It's a little too tight for my liking, but you could vlog at any focal length on here, pretty much. I love this as an alternative to the 16 to 35. Honestly, I'd rather have this because I know if I'm gonna use the 16 to 35, it's gonna be for something like this to go out and vlog with. And again, it's too heavy. The 17 to 28 is not really that heavy. It's a much smaller, much lighter lens. At a fraction of the price and a fraction of the weight, I would probably pick this up 9 times out of 10, and I'd rather vlog with this over the 16 to 35. It's just too big and too heavy. All the music and sound effects that I use for my YouTube videos, my real estate shoots, weddings, promos, events, they all come from Artlessio. And when I'm dead smack in the middle of an edit, there's nothing more annoying to me, and there's nothing that takes me out of the zone faster than having to spend long amounts of time trying to find the right song for my project. Lucky for all of us, searching for music on Artless significantly speeds that process up. You can search by genre, which is pretty standard, but you can also search based on the mood of the video that you're working on. The video's theme, you can even search by a specific instrument. And the same thing goes for sound effects. They have a huge library of pretty much any sound on the planet that you could think of. And the best part is their plans start at just $9.99 a month for unlimited downloads. Use it on whatever social media platform you want. It's fantastic. Not only do they have a free trial, but if you use the link that I have down below, it'll add 2 months onto your yearly subscription for free. Again, we're talking about Artless.io. Links down below. Thank you, Artless, for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to our video here. The Sigma 24-70 f2.8 is, I would just choose it right over the Sony 24-70 f2.8. This Sigma is as good of a third-party lens as they make out there, to be honest with you. It's everything that you could want. Only thing else that I could see myself wanting in this lens is stabilization. If you're a walker talker, if you're just doing this all day long and this is your channel, this lens ain't for you. You gotta have some muscles. This is a nice piece of gear though, and it's about half the price of Sony's version. This also can just be your one and done lens, especially being that it's f2.8 all the way through. So you basically have every focal length from 24-70 at f2.8, which is great. This could replace so many lenses in your kit. All right, here we are at 24, and we can punch all the way into 70. Image looks great, image looks clean. Colors look good. This is the Samyang 14mm f2.8, which is a fantastic alternative to the Sony 14mm f1.8. I've actually compared both of these lenses. I'll drop a link at the end screen of this video if you want to check that video out. And to tell you the truth, the Samyang held its own. Don't get me wrong, the Sony is a better lens, but this Samyang is a great pickup. And if you're just getting into real estate photography or videography and you're looking for an ultra wide, I would highly recommend this. Now, one of the downfalls is at 14mm, you're not going to be able to have any type of ND filter on the front of this. Image quality looks great. Autofocus performs well. Every real estate shoot I've done over the past year and a half has been with this lens, and never had one complaint. Even the distortion is under control. If you take a look at that, it's so wide I can't even reach it with my hand. If you take a look at that foam pole right there, it's not really super distorted. This is a fantastic pickup. Highly recommend the Samyang 14mm f2.8. By the way, last batch of the Stay Balanced and the Stay Focused shirts are in right now. And after this, probably gonna put them to rest. This is a focus chart plus positive vibes putting out there. Stay focused, half polyester, half cotton, which is what you want. You don't want 100% cotton. They try to sell you on 100% cotton because that's the cheapest for them to make, and it falls apart the easiest. You ever get a t-shirt that's 100% cotton, it fits amazing, you throw it in the wash one time, all of a sudden it's like 4 inches shorter and 3 inches wider. That's what happens to 100% cotton. That's why you want polyester blends in your shirts with your cotton. So yeah, links down below if you want to pick one up and help support the channel. This next one is a Viltrox as well. This is the Viltrox 50mm f1.8. Nifty 50, how could you go wrong? You know, if you're not vlogging, you're not trying to film yourself handheld, this is a great studio lens. This is a great lens for weddings. I think that this lens performs really well. Again, it's really small. It's just about the exact same size and weight as the 24mm. I actually have a full review coming on this lens. Now, Sony does make a budget 50mm. I believe it's a 1.8 also. The autofocus is just super loud. It's super cheap. And yeah, it's just not a lens that I would recommend. They have a few versions of the 50mm. And this lens right here is priced really well. So I have no reserves over picking up a third-party lens. As you can see, I own multiple of them. All right, now on to the honorable mentions. We actually have 2 of them. First up is the brand new Tamron 35-150 f2 to 2.8. I thought it would have been here by now. I actually ordered one of them, and then like 2 months later, still never got it. I wound up canceling my order. I'm like, I'll just get it when it's fully in stock. I don't like waiting on stuff. I'm the guy that when UPS is coming, every like 15 minutes or so, I'm walking to the window, I'm looking outside, I'm listening for truck engines. Get downstairs, open it up, put it on the side, and I walk the hell away. I think I'm just addicted to the delivery. And I've actually never even personally used that lens before, but I have quite a few friends of mine on YouTube that I've seen their reviews of. You guys all did a great job. And yeah, I think that lens is an absolute win. And number 2 on the honorable mentions is another lens that I never really hear too many people talking about too often, and that's the Sigma 100 to 200 f5 to f6.3. Now this lens I did have the opportunity to play with, and it was fantastic. What a great experience going out and shooting with that lens. As far as separation of the background, didn't really even notice the f5 to f6.3 in between all those focal lengths. Everything was nice and compressed. You still got beautiful separation. The image quality looked great. The autofocus worked well. Coming in at $899, that's a great deal for such a quality lens, so I had to throw that on this list. Overall, I'm a big supporter of third-party lenses. As long as they bring the heat to the table, I'm all about it. Again, thank you very much to my good friends over at Artless for sponsoring today's video. Thank you guys for picking up the merch. Again, this is it. After this, these are gone. Probably for good, probably forever. And if you ever see anybody else copy this style, believe me, I've searched. Nobody else is doing these. Nobody else is doing the focus chart and then the color balance chart on t-shirts. So you know where they stole it from. You know. Oh, you know. Links to everything that you guys saw and heard about here in the description, and also a link to the Patreon down below if you want to help support the channel in any way, shape, or form. I appreciate it very highly. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys next time. Yeah!